Hey, today I'm going to be responding to some comments from a video game streamer and looking at them from the perspective of a counselor. Today's reaction is going to be from a streamer who goes by the name of Pestily. Now, before I get into my reaction, if you like watching streamers, I definitely recommend giving Pestily a chance. I don't know him personally, but he comes across as a very authentic guy. And he has become well known for streaming a game called Escape from Tarkov. This game is what's called an extraction shooter. And basically in these kinds of games, you load in, you run around trying to complete quests, collect loot, and defeat enemies. But if you die or don't leave the map in time, you lose everything. Not just what you'd found, but also everything you brought into the game with you. Because of this mechanic, the adrenaline and emotions playing these kinds of games can get really high. So I was watching Pestily playing Tarkov, and we're going to jump into a part of the video where he was just getting ready to load into a new game after getting killed. And he gets asked a brilliant question. Let's watch it together.
Honestly, honest question, how do you avoid letting such a death completely sour your mood on Tarkov? Such a death would make me take a break for days.
Now, before we get to his answer, let's look at what this kind of game does to our minds and bodies. Okay, welcome to my talk. Point 1. When we anticipate some kind of reward, our dopamine number go up. And number up feel good. So when you load into a new map in Tarkov, you don't know what rare loot has spawned. You could find that exact quest item you need just around the corner. Therefore, our dopamine goes up. Point 2, our stress response helps us to focus. That's cortisol going up. And cortisol up equals survive, focus, fight or flight. This is great if we need to live. Generally, you don't want your cortisol going up though. Point 3, our nervous system thinks the threat is real. Our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, we might sweat more. This part of our body doesn't know that we're only playing a game. So just like cortisol, it's trying to improve our chances of survival. And just like cortisol, this is great if we need to survive, and not so much if we don't. And point 4, the high risk, high reward immersion created by all these hormones and nervous system responses means we enter a kind of flow state. We get that insanely high focus, quick reaction time, our appetite and other needs are suppressed. This flow state is generally associated with positive emotions, and time in the flow state can pass a lot quicker than it seems. So now we're aware of what anyone playing Tarkov is probably feeling, and we get this genuine, empathetic question asking how Pestily can just dive back in after experiencing that roller coaster of mind-body reactions. So let's hear his answer.
Say GG next and go again.
What an answer. Simple, savage, and meaningful. First, you might laugh, but this is actually some of the best mental health advice I've heard from a gamer. Now, is saying GG next a form of coping? You might think so, but it's actually something called willingness. This is the ability to stay present with uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and outcomes if they're part of something that matters to you. You're not playing Tarkov for the same feeling a game of Stardew Valley provides. You're playing for the grit, the intensity. And that's a therapeutic skill, being able to say, I didn't like that, but I'm willingly going to do it again because I value the experience. Or there are reasons I'm doing this that are important to me. Great advice so far. There's more from Pestily. Let's see what's next.
Death is a part of Tarkov. You kind of have to understand it being part of the game. Like, if you didn't die in Tarkov, you would get bored very quickly because you'd have everything all the time.
Yeah, Tarkov is brutal, but also predictable. You will lose gear. You will get sniped mid-sprint. You might desync from servers. If you've played extraction shooters, you know this happens more often than not. So what does that sound like to you? That understanding that not everything is going to go your way, that you can feel things are going great, but that out of nowhere, something might happen that ruins your day. It's just like life, isn't it? It's not that we live life expecting terrible things to happen all the time. It's the understanding that we are alive and connecting with things we love and that give us meaning and purpose. And that means there's the possibility of pain becoming associated with those things. For example, say you got yourself a cat or a dog as a pet. You know that you're going to outlive this animal, but you don't let that awareness stop you from enjoying your time with them. Instead, you sort of know that you've made a trade deal to enjoy years of companionship with that pet at the cost of a time of grief when that time eventually comes. And that grief is proof that the experience you had enriched your life and was something meaningful. If we all lived our lives trying to get rid of or avoid all unwanted thoughts and feelings, we'd end up avoiding all kinds of trade deals that would add meaning and joy to our lives. And you'd probably never play a game like Tarkov because you know that losing everything in a map is a part of the experience. Quick side note, do you think people cheat in games so they can boast to others or so they can avoid that terrible, uncomfortable feeling of loss? Okay, so far Pestily has been dropping some great advice that we can apply to our real life as well. Let's have a listen to his final piece of advice for how he's able to recover quickly from a big loss in Tarkov.
It's like you go to the movie to watch a horror movie. You don't go there for fun. You go there to feel scared, to be entertained by horror. I suppose it comes down to what you define as fun, but it's not like, like when you play Fall Guys and you're having fun with mates, like, trying to win a game of Fall Guys and be laughing and stuff. It's a different experience.
So in a nutshell, Tarkov isn't meant to be fun. It's like watching a horror movie. Let's break that down. We watch horror movies because they are thrilling. They put us on edge. We play games like Tarkov because they're engaging and not easy. This is called values-based discomfort. When you're willing to feel discomfort if it's in service of something that's important to you. You've probably experienced that feeling of doing something where you're tense, you're stressed, your heart's pumping like crazy. But here's the question, why were you doing it? Why were you willing to go through all of that discomfort? Maybe you had to give a presentation in the service of you getting a degree you valued and you hate public speaking. Maybe you were trying to ask someone out on a date, or maybe it was your first time ever streaming a game and an audience is watching, you're nervous, you're anxious, you're worried about judgment, but you did it anyway because connecting with others or chasing that dream meant something to you. Let's reflect on this for just a second. Think of something you do that gives you a similar experience to Tarkov. And what about that thing do you value? Is it mastery, risk, progression, connection, career? Have a think about it. Now think about this. Where in life am I avoiding discomfort, even if it's in the service of something you believe to be really important? Is there a real life Tarkov you keep dodging because of what it might make you feel? So yeah, Tarkov's not fun, but it might still be meaningful to you. It is a masterclass in emotional regulation, self-awareness, and resilience. But if you can lose your best kit and still say, GG, next, then you're already practicing therapy tools some people take years to learn. So thank you to Pestily for sharing this great advice with everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and a link to Pestily's channel is in the description. If this has helped you in any way, hit that like button and please subscribe for more gaming and counseling crossover content. And remember, life isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about taking moves in the direction of those things you find meaningful and fulfilling. Until next time, good luck and have fun.